So before you were able to create objects and call their methods through the visual interface in BlueJ. But what's the actual code to do this that you would use in a real program? So BlueJ actually lets you see the code, so you could call the visual actions and see the code. So go to the top menu, go to View and click on Show Terminal. This will open up a window that will let you see what's happening, what code is being called, and what's being printed out. So now, for example, if we click on Staff, I'm going to make this window a little smaller so we can still see the terminal. Okay, so now let's click on Staff and do New Staff. Call it Staff1. So now you see a new object has been added here just like before. But now we also see that in the terminal it says the code staff1 equals new staff. That's the code that you would use to create new staff. So we could actually copy this here into this area is called the coding pad. And in the coding pad you're able to try out code directly. So when you don't want to save code and write permanent code, if you just want to try out something quickly, you could use the visual interface or you could use this coding pad. So we're going to create a new staff instance called staff2. See, now we created staff2. Now staff2 isn't in the visual object bench here, but it exists in the coding pad. And now we actually have it, and now if we wanted, we could interact with it, or we could even drag it into the coding pad. So now we have two staff instances. Now let's say we wanted to again call set room, and we want to set the room to the blue room. So now staff2 is set to blue room, and if we look in the terminal, it says staff1.setRoom blue. And that's the code that you could use, which again, if you wanted, you could now change it and do green, staff1.setRoom green, and now staff1, now if you would check, staff1 get room is now green. And notice when we called get room, this is the code that showed up here, staff1.getRoom. So we could call the same thing over here, staff1.getRoom, and it returns green. So whether you're trying it out in the visual interface or the coding pad, you could see here, this is the code that lets you create objects and call objects methods. And this is just a good way to learn it, and if you want to just try something out quickly in general.